At Institute for Sustainable Communities, we actually aim to the decarbonization and consequent net zero emissions from the auto component manufacturers by creating a pathway for these Indian small and medium enterprises that cater to the automotive OEMs to be able to increase their business competitiveness and give them a strategic advantage through the adoption of green technologies and skilling that will enhance their efficiency, viability, sustainability, and the equity of their businesses. Next slide, Ishwari. Could I have the next slide, please? Yes, thank you. ISC supports the small and medium enterprises by enhancing the awareness around the SMEs for the technologies and effective solutions which are available for decarbonization. It helps in identifying and aggregating the demand for relevant technologies and provides support for the adoption of such clean technologies as well. It helps in making available the funding opportunities for clean technology uptake and in helping in ingraining gender equity into the action towards net zero. Because with gender equity ingrained into net zero, SMEs have an option of leveraging the monetary benefits and other benefits of gender diversity in the workforce. Furthermore, ISC also looks at green skilling and training of the workforce to be able to produce a climate resilient workforce and establishes a local steering alliance which has leaders and experts in the relevant fields which are going to be able to sustain the interventions. Next slide. Taking steps to transition towards net zero early on at this time holds a plethora of benefits for the Indian automotive manufacturing sector and the small and medium enterprises that make it up. It will help with the decarbonization and clean energy promotion, which is in line with the national climate goals, consequently leading to monetary savings, increased market competitiveness through increased energy efficiency and sustainable practices as well. It will also help in the skill development of SMEs and local authorities towards clean technology environment, thereby reducing the gap between the supply and demand of green labor in the SME sector, for leading to a climate resilient workforce, which is the need of the hour. It will promote the participation of millions of untapped potential workers by including and training women in green skill development, which can help us in tackling problems like that of migration, that of lack of skilled labor locally, etc. Also considering India's increased climate action at the moment, decarbonization of SMEs also allows them to take advantage of upcoming and existing climate responsive legislation through which they can gain benefits for their own growths. And finally, there are also long-term benefits from and partnership with important local players who can sustain a proactive and a profitable climate action in the small and medium enterprises within the automotive sector. I'll stop here and I'll hand it over to Zahir from here.
Thank you so much, Furain, for the insightful effort and how you set the whole demystifying context for the net zero in automotive component manufacturing processes. Now, I shall give the podium or the mic to respected Dinesh Vedpathak sir, who is heading the Automotive Component Manufacturers Association India, ACMA India, for his keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you for the entire team from IFCA and the Sustainable Commodities. And I just want to take you back a little bit that when we started discussing about this topic, I think I just saw the poll issue, Ms. Uren, and in fact, it was noted there that panelists cannot vote. It was coming in the red color. There would have been one more addition to that, that I am not aware about the exact topics under decarbonization and all that. I just want to take few points. In year 2003, I remember when my guru, Mr. C. Narasimhan, when the Sundaram Clayton got the Deming Prize, and he gave me one checklist, and the checklist name was carbon footprint measurement. And that time he told 2-3 things, and I think I can tell you that what ACMA is doing and what is the plan. But I just want to rewind the cassette a little bit. I think before this net zero or decarbonization, there was one terminology we used to understand called biodegradability or biodegradable material like thermocol ban and all that. And I think that is a starting point in the India. And I remember Pune, there is a national chemical laboratory. And I can tell you in 2006, I visited that laboratory. And one of the scientists gave me a thermocol packing box. And he said that I'll make a magic here. And he put the thermocol box, one small, you can say, cutout in a glass of water. And he said that it will melt and I will drink that water. So I think that was a classic example, and I understood what it means to the environment. And even we started understanding what is meant by environment and what is the scale it takes. It takes to degrade the material itself. Like if I put the plastic underground, it will take, I think, 10⁶ years. And if I put a normal crop, say corns, it will take maybe 3 months to biodegrade that activity. So I think whole effort India has already started. And I'm very happy to share today what ACMA is doing. So from year 2003, we were measuring the carbon footprint. And I'm very happy that there are many companies who have improved the carbon footprint. Secondly, that we are also measuring the yield. And we did 2-3 programs also. And regarding the new chapter or the 17 goals of the UN, women empowerment. And I think ACMA comes very fast forward. And we are promoting women empowerment also, that in ACMA awards, if you have 30% or more women employees in your plant, there is no fees to be paid to the ACMA awards. So that is the measurement we are doing. Recently, we have started 2 programs. Sustainable manufacturing program is there for 2 years. And this year, we have already started a program on ESG. Now, I don't want to market my program here because that is not the topic of the day. I would like to bring to the notice of the participant that what is my role as an individual and what is my role as a tier 1 company or a OEM company, because there are many OEMs sitting. I had a meeting with Tata Motor team also, and I appreciate the efforts of all the OEMs. There is a long pull is going on and push is also going on from both the sides. And there are many examples available today. In nutshell, what we should be doing is that first is the reporting and measurement. And I think we are very weak. That poll didn't have that topic. I think where we are today and where my carbon gets generated, then we can talk about the carbon neutrality. So I think there is a checklist available, but it is scattered away. Some portion is here and there. So I told Huren also that first thing we will do that we will publish this checklist on ACMA website so that anybody can come and assess themselves. At least he will be 98% right. Instead of having zero knowledge, 98% right knowledge is fine to start with. So maybe we will assess where we are, and there are low-hanging fruits. And there are many high-hanging fruits also. So for everything, technology is not required. I just want to quote many examples from my programs, and I appeal all the participants to start doing this in their companies with maybe little guidance from us or anybody. You go to the shop floor, you have 3 things. One is the people, another is the machine, and another is the material. Now, people will generate the carbon by transportation and maybe some other waste. When you go to the material, I think that will also generate some waste, but that is not in full in our control because it got some limitations of its design. Now, where is the waste available and the scope available is in turning the raw material into the finished components. It can be any industry. And I can tell you that. So we have a program we are driving from last 20 years. It is called Engineering Excellence Cluster. And we have removed the stabilizers from the machine. We reduced the cooling system from the heaters and chillers and coolers because the energy you are utilizing to operate the high temperature to the low temperature, it is a waste. So I think we are doing fantastic programs and everybody can do that. My only appeal to all the people is that there are many programs run by many people, including ACMA. My appeal is that first request is that try to measure where we are today and take at least 5 projects. If you understand the total psychology about the COP27 and other activity, I think the sustainability should be a main pillar in your MIS system. And yesterday I was in one of the corporate group and we were discussing about that. So you have cost pillar, you have material pillar, you have production pillar. But I don't find there is a pillar called sustainability. So I think if we can insist the people that let us start measuring the efforts on sustainability or any 17 goals or whatever the presentation we are going to see the case studies also. So I think a drop in the ocean is required to start with. So first thing, my request is that let us become more aware. So ACMA and sustainable communities are coming together to make the people aware. And we are ready to host this and support this, because this is not for any profit-making activity. So my request will be like this: can we understand what is my current status today? And then you can decide that this fruit I can eat, or this project I can do myself. This project I do not have the knowledge. Then please do write to us or sustainable communities or other people in the panelists, and we'll find a way to support you. And everything doesn't need a money. We can have a webinar like today's webinar, there is no cost. So I think the will should be there, and then the way will be there. Everybody knows that. So my first request is that ACMA has started a program. Please understand, and we are also going to publish a checklist online very shortly. Maybe by 6th March, we have a technology summit. And this year's technology summit is named on the same, how to become carbon neutral. And I will appeal all the people, don't miss that, because the whole discussion for the day is on how to become carbon neutral and what are the ways and means for that. So to conclude my statement, we are doing a good job in India. And I think if I measure the carbon footprint compared to America and all that, I can tell very proudly that we are little better than emitting than whatever the other countries, but it is not a good way to say that. We can achieve our Honorable Prime Minister's target that in 2030 or 2047. And I think contribution is not possible unless each person contributes something from his household. And my appeal is that let us contribute, start the activity from your household. Waste is a waste. And when I come to the Sonipat, there is a hill of the waste. Waste means the garbage. And every time when I come, at least another 5 meters height has increased. So I don't know how many hills are there. And I think after some days, if our next generation digs some area while going to the picnic, they'll only find the garbage. And if we want to wish that our future generations to remain intact, I think the time has come to take the actions. So let us start the movement from today by making a sustainability pillar in the company, and you get a small team. And Hindi mein dialogue hai na, main chalta gaya aur karwa bante gaya. So even this seminar is like that. Can we make a karwa? Can we make a group of the people? And then I think the Honorable Prime Minister dream, we can contribute to that. So with these few words from ACMA side, I want to thank sustainable communities and my other co-panelists. And I am officially announcing that if you need anybody needs any help, please do write to us. You have many details of both the parties, and we are ready to support you. With this, I wish you all the best, and my apology that I want to leave after 5 minutes because I have scheduled another meeting, but I am going to listen to the recording, and please do share the recording. So with this, thank you very much. Let us become self-sustainable and also make the India sustainable. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for discussion-worthy keynote address, wherein you aptly indicated that manufacturing processes will not be able to survive without intermingling the sustainability principles in near future. Excellent thoughts we could hear. Going forward, the sustainability protocols cannot be implicated to the higher strata of operation, and everyone across manufacturing line and supply chain needs to grow, needs to know and practice them, right? This leads to our next addressing, Mr. Ganesh Divekar, who is heading the Central and Western India chapters of Automotive Skills Development Council, ASDC. Over to you, Mr. Divekar.
First of all, good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for inviting me for this kind of session. This is really must and mandatory part for the entire nation as well as globe, because sustainability, without that we can't live. We are the part of nature, and here the topic is equitable decarbonization for automotive component manufacturer. From the last 2 decades, I am working closely with the auto manufacturers. I'm the part of, I can say, ground level blue collar team to now corporate team as a ASDC. So here I'll brief with the point wise approach, how we can move ahead. Already you are moving with some couple of projects, like we discussed with Ishwari, Meghanath ma'am, and the same thing I'll going to update here. First of all, we have to state out we have to emphasize on pilot projects with the MSME sectors, cluster-based approach, small-scale industry, large-scale industry, and medium-scale industry. There we have to target audience for this one, because already factories are already established nowadays, and few are upcoming factories. So there are two factories, existing factory and new factory. Third one, policy and standards. We have environmental standards like ISO 18,000 and EHS, that kind of standards we have in our nation, that we have to follow rigorously. So like that way, sir has already told, there should be a pillar. Yes, of course, it should be top driven management work first, then it should be horizontal deployment, cross functional team. So that approach we have to utilize with the small micro projects. There we can utilize the solution based approach on sustainable decarbonization. Coming back to the processes, as sir already mentioned, man, machine, material, and the last one is process, because due to the process the carbon has generated. So we have to strengthen this process through the process audits that are already available globally, and everyone can utilize on a ground level. So that process enhancement is the major factor that I can emphasize over here. Then it should be top driven and horizontal approach. So cross functional team should have a small board, like 5 years Kaizen, they have boards on a manufacturing lines, though there should be a board for the sustainable communities and decarbonization. So what we generate daily basis, we generate weekly basis and quarterly basis, and then yearly basis, that we have to do the measurement. So here I can give the simple approach everybody knows, that is smart approach that we can add with this to deploy at the ground level, that is specific, measurable, then achievable, and smart. Achievable, then it should be a time bound, and it should be realistic. So this smart board should have every line, every manufacturer component, workstations. This board will give definitely awareness to individual, those who are working online, and in fact with the top management as well, as to do the monitoring, because without monitoring we cannot sustain. So that way the approach should be there. But these are the some realistic point, that's what I mentioned, but this should be in specific way we have to notified. So as far as policies and detailed standards are concerned, we have to set with the standards, because everything we should measure with the standards with the actual outcome. So we have to do comparison with the standards and actual outcome. There we can tackle these concerns. If there are concerns, we can tackle it. If it is fine, then we can move forward as a small pilot projects. Coming back to ASDC, we have a couple of projects going on currently pan-India level. For an example, earlier time we used to go with the end user trainings, but now the approach has quite changed a lot. We are coming with the TOT, training of trainer. In fact, in Pune, from last 9 months, we are going with the training of trainer. There, this factor already we have been added into our curricula. That is 11-week program, and every trainer needs to be trained on this factor also. So that we have been already taken care. And I thought Ishwari has visited that center clusters for this particular aspect. So content, it should be with this factor first of all, that really gives awareness to the trainer. So pan India we have trainer for this TOT Sankalp that is going on in Pune. Now we are developing 200 trainers in 5 segments, that is manufacturing, R&D, service, and of course quality inspection, robotics and automation also. So these all segments we are covered through the ASDC, through this TOT program. And of course we are also working on EVs, as like Sector Skill Council of Automotive. We are more with the EVs and upcoming emerging technologies. So this is the current approach going on in Western and Central region as well as Pan India region through the ASDC initiative. Of course, you can just drop me an email at the rate ganesh@asdc.org.in, and you can reach me easily on my phone number. And groundly, I'm available. If you want to see some factories, some small scale industries in Pune, you are heartily welcome. And we are ready to give audit kind of prospectus. We can do the comparison analysis and move forward with the pilot projects. In fact, last time Ishwari and me, here I can mention it, we visited Fronius, India. They are come up with the small e-factory warehouse. So like that way, they already given the board, digital board on the road itself, what kind of daily carbon emission they have, and they have come up what kind of solution they deployed at their e-factory warehouses. So, and of course, Mitsubishi Electric also have had this e-factory here in Pune. So this kind of role model we can utilize to further deployment for the small scale micro workshops level with the small Kaizens activity. So that is a constructive team effort, and we would like to do the initiative from our end as an ASDC. And that's it from my end. And all those who are listening, I thought 45 plus participants are there. They can write us, and on website also we are easily approachable here. So thanks a lot for giving an opportunity. Rest of the time you can go ahead. After 5 minutes I'll also leave because there is another meeting, but yes, I'll just check it out the recordings, and I would love to support for this program. This is the nation initiative, and this is for noble cause and globe cause, and we have to survive for more years, and the pandemic has taught us the same way. Thank you very much.